All right, thank you everyone for joining us for Offsides, our YouTube show regarding the NFL. We're going to go over Week 1. We're also going to look at Week 2 matchups and talk a little bit about some fantasy football people as well. So I'm going to kick it over to Rolf here. He's going to go over the NFC and what are we looking at as far as what happened in Week 1 in the NFC. So what are your top games, Rolf, that you were looking at?
First off, I have Atlanta, New Orleans.
Okay.
I watched that game, and you have Atlanta's so-called high-powered offense.
Yes.
Going against the last-ranked defense in the NFL last year.
Sure.
And they only scored 17 points. Are you kidding me?
It's awful. Couldn't even. And Matty Ice.
Matty
right?
Ice
throws an interception. Last play of the game.
Yeah.
Awful.
Yeah. So
right.
I was not impressed with Atlanta at all, and I was surprised that they played so poorly against New Orleans. But,
right.
But I did pick New Orleans to win. But I thought it would have been a better game.
Okay. What do you got? Next one.
My Green Bay Packers against the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, what happened there?
That really hurt to watch.
That was rough.
As much as I want to blame the refs for that, the Packers had plenty of chances to win that game. even with that blunder.
Even with Clay jumping from 5 yards, out of bounds to kill Colin.
That was a sweet hit.
It was a good hit, good hit, but that's not going to work, I don't think.
But if you watch the replay, it was pretty close. When he left his feet.
Yes, I understand. He was inbounds.
He was still inbounds.
He doesn't need to fly like Superman to go after Colin, who's getting ready to step out of bounds, right? I mean.
I think that he.
I mean, the refs left the field when he flew. I mean,
I don't know if it was as close as everybody says it is. Everybody wants to kind of go. It was close.
No, if you watch the replay, Colin Kaepernick was still in bounds when Clay Matthews had left his feet.
But by the time they got out of bounds, they were almost in the stands. I mean, he was trying to push him through the first row.
Oh,
it's like there was no. If he wouldn't have left his feet, he still would have gotten penalized.
I'm going to say you can't count on a runner like Colin Kaepernick running out of bounds. You have to assume he's going to
keep running. I mean, I get it.
You have to try to make that play. Right?
Okay.
If you give up on that play, all of a sudden he's down the field for like 30 yards.
But Green Bay, I mean, the running game.
It was
still suspect.
It still sucks. And here's the other thing: you spent the last 2 years draft picks on defensive players to get a pass rush.
Yeah.
Clay Matthews is still the only one getting a pass rush.
Still the only one. I know.
Come on.
Yeah,
I think Clay Matthews does not like to share quarterback sacks. That's how I feel about it.
No one else even got close.
It's like, first of all, Clay Matthews tried to sack a quarterback out of bounds.
Yeah.
And he wants to sack them inbounds. And he does not want. I bet you there is a thing on the team that says Clay Matthews gets the sacks because his big head sells more. His fat head sells a lot better than BJ Raji's.
Nice. Last game that you're looking at.
But it was still a good game. It was still pretty close.
No, I was rooting for Green Bay, and I don't consider it a good game anymore.
Last game I'm going over is the Giants and the Dallas Cowboys.
Wow.
That was ugly on both sides. I wasn't impressed with either team, even though there was a lot of points going. There was a lot of turnovers.
Tons.
And so the league that I'm in, I have to say this.
Yes.
Auto drafted David Wilson for me because I lost my signal at my softball game and I couldn't draft. And I'm with David Wilson. I'm like, well, he might be okay.
Yeah.
Not so much. Minus 3 points.
Yeah, that's what's the...
Minus 3 points is rough in any fantasy football league, right?
Especially when it's coming from a starting running back.
Yeah,
that's the starting running back, and it's like you're getting...
Almost twice in his first 2 carries he gets benched.
I will say this. Take some solace in this. The only running back that ran for over 100 yards was Shane Vereen. He had a broken hand for most of that game.
That's crazy.
Or broken wrist.
That's ridiculous.
So he's the only one. No other running back. The leading rusher of the week was Terrell Pryor.
Yeah, and even Adrian Peterson started off with a 78-yard run.
He had 93 yards.
And they didn't get anything else.
Sweet. All right, that's what you got for Week 1? Okay, we're kicking to Randy. Randy, what do you got for the AFC? How do we look this week?
AFC is boring. I'm going to say that right now because most of these games were awful. But I'm a Bronco fan. So, of course, the Denver Broncos versus the Baltimore Ravens. That was a slow start by the Denver Broncos.
17-14 a half.
Decker cannot hold on to a football right now.
Yes. What's going on with that?
I don't know. He had balls right in his hand. I think maybe the Welker factor.
The Welker factor.
The Welker factor hurts because they're both the same kind of wide receiver.
That's true.
But Peyton Manning tying a record that has. If you look at that when that record was set.
Yeah.
the record was set like in the 40s, 50s, and 60s and 7.
Yeah.
They didn't throw back then.
No.
It had not been matched since 1964. That means Tom Brady, Joe Montana, Aaron Rodgers.
The champion quarterbacks back then.
Yeah, John Elway, Jim Kelly.
Terry Bradshaw. I mean,
never did this.
Never did 7 TDs.
The Baltimore Ravens defense, even with Elvis Dumervil and Terrell Suggs and Haloti Ngata, that is a great defensive line, but the back side of that defense looks weak.
Do you think we gassed them? I mean, we run a lot of plays. We're quick. I mean, do you guys think we gassed them?
No, I think not having Ed Reed as your safety back there and having now Michael Huff, it's not the same thing.
Not the same.
Well, they're playing in Denver too. I think that might have gassed them.
Yeah.
I am not giving them that excuse. Baltimore fans, you do not get that. You got your Flacco up on my building. You don't get an excuse.
That's awesome. Next game.
Okay, we're going New England Buffalo. New England. I think we're all pretty much disappointed in how New England played against a team with a rookie quarterback.
I don't think we could say you were disappointed.
I wasn't disappointed. Well, I was disappointed they won.
Yeah.
They won barely.
Barely won, but Manuel. I mean, is this a dime in the rough? What do you think? You love Russell Wilson, obviously.
Yeah.
Colin came out of nowhere. What are we seeing with this guy at Buffalo?
I got to see a little bit more before I say he's a Russell Wilson.
I'm not sold on EJ Manuel just yet. I need to see a little bit more. I think the New England defense is a little bit on the weak side.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give him another 3 or 4 weeks to see if he can pull this off. I'd like to see him in his next matchup, which is against the Carolina Panthers. So you're gonna have an EJ Manuel going up against a Cam Newton.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, I still got. There's a lot more.
Carolina's defense is good, so that'll be a
that will be a good test.
That'll be a good test. Yeah, because Buffalo obviously has not looked as one of the powerhouses this year.
No, and they're not.
They've always been known as a running game, obviously with Jackson, Spiller, but that's about it though. I mean, that's literally it. So we'll see what that changes. That last game.
Pittsburgh fans, you may want to cut your throats right now.
Season's
your season's over. You've lost Marquise Pouncey, and it looks like your own offensive lineman tried to take him out.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it looks like he dived and tried to take out Marquise Pouncey himself.
That is awesome.
That
is awesome.
So you've got a problem with you might lose your starting linebacker in Larry Foote.
Yeah.
You also lost a running back who was also it was your kick returner in special teams.
Yeah.
These are problems, and you were at home and lost to the Titans, a 6-10 team last year, with Jake Locker as your starter. Ben Roethlisberger's won 2 Super Bowls. Jake Locker will probably never even get to go to a Super Bowl. Well, he probably wouldn't even be allowed to watch as a fan.
I don't know. He could be as a fan. We'll see, though.
Maybe he'll get there as a backup for EJ Manuel. I don't know.
We'll see. Okay.
But if you're a Pittsburgh fan right now, I'd be very scared that you're going to finish behind Cleveland in that division.
They might. I think they might. All right.
Well, Cleveland didn't look that good against Miami, though.
None of that division.
When you throw 3 interceptions and you're leading, that's never a sign of success, right?
Think of it this way. AFC North, everybody's still in it. You're all 0-1.
Hey, all right.
Good job.
Awesome. All right, we'll kick it back to Rolf. We're looking at Week 2 and seeing some of the top games on the NFC side. So what do you got for Week 2?
Top game on the list would be San Francisco at Seattle. That's huge.
That's
a division game. The top 2 teams, one of the top 2 teams in the NFC. Period.
Yep. Both coming off of wins.
Yeah, and me being from Wisconsin, I'm gonna have to side with Seattle and go with Russell Wilson.
Going with Russell on this one. Okay.
I think their defense is good.
Comparatively to a Green Bay defense, a little bit porous.
I don't think they're gonna.
Are you going to worry about a Kaepernick that can throw for 412 yards, rush easily over for 100 at any time he wants? That Kaepernick showed me something in that game.
Against the Packers?
Against the Packers.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about the Seattle defense.
The Seattle defense.
That's nothing.
It's not the same comparison, but I would still worry about a guy that can throw for 400 yards and rush for 100 probably in the same game at some point in his career.
Seattle pressures the quarterback better. They have better defensive backs for sure.
Absolutely,
they do. I agree.
Yeah,
I will agree with that.
You can't run. The Packers already took away the run game against them, so I don't see a problem with that. I think it'll be a much tougher game for San Francisco.
Nice. What's your next game?
Green Bay at home against Washington.
Yeah.
They showed they could stop the Kaepernick's running. He didn't run wild.
No.
This last game.
No, he didn't. He didn't. They did focus on that very
well. They've got that kind of figured out. So I think I'm not as worried as I was going into the season against these first two teams.
Okay.
I was like, oh man, we're gonna get killed right away.
Right.
But I think I don't think Washington's defense is nearly anywhere near as good as.
That's evidenced by the screen behind us right now.
Right here.
Yeah.
So I think if you have Aaron Rodgers, you play him this weekend. He's going to light him up.
He is going to light him up.
That's huge. I think so. Well, they need to win. You come out for this San Francisco.
Yeah, you come out of that. You can't go 0-2 starts.
Yeah, you can't. Especially Green Bay. All right, and the last one. What do you got?
St. Louis at Atlanta.
Okay.
This one's easy. This one's Atlanta. I think. I think they figure out their offense, and I don't think St. Louis. St. Louis defense is okay, but I think.
Too high powered.
Yeah, I think Atlanta's got too much. I mean, Julio Jones, they got to come alive at some point.
Yeah.
They didn't look good. They didn't look good this week, but I think
Jones, Gonzalez, Steven Jackson, and Roddy White.
They can't go cold for 2 weeks.
No,
I just don't
can't.
see it. And they're not going to want to start 0-1 either.
Yeah.
With the Saints up in their division, so
there's no way.
I think Atlanta comes out strong and wins that game.
Gotta win that game. That's huge. I agree with you. I think they'll come out on top. They have to. Have to win that game.
It's a must-win for them already.
All right, Randy. Week 2 AFC matchups. What are you looking at?
Once again, they suck for the most part. They're very dull.
Who's this?
But I'm going to start with New England and the Jets.
Wow, the Jets.
We're going to look at Geno Smith here.
They're both 1-1.
They're both.
1-0. They're both 1-0. They both won.
This is the last time, Jets fans, that you will be above 500 for the rest of the season.
Oh, okay.
Because you watch Geno Smith on the sideline after the field goal is made. He's standing up there, pretending like he is, some kind of deity that you all be praying to. Just kind of standing there with his arms out. Look at me. Look at what I did. You didn't kick the field goal, Geno.
Yeah, this is true. But
You're going into New England.
And New
England's going to kill them. New England is going to obliterate this team. No question.
You think so? Tom Brady. I don't think Tom Brady knows where his receivers live or where they're running to right now. So.
The thing is, Tom Brady will still put it right in their hands. Even though he doesn't know, he can close his eyes.
Zip codes. Okay.
He can close his eyes.
He seems to like Amendola.
He does.
He likes Amendola, and he still likes Edelman.
Yep. Okay.
And I still believe in it. Sorry, Jets fans. 1-1, 500. After that, you're probably done for the season.
You're one and
Enjoy your 1-0. You might.
We will see, Jets fans. We will see.
I don't believe.
Next game. What else you got?
Well, our next game's Denver and the Giants. Yes, I am spending a lot of time talking about Denver. I am a Bronco fan. Manning Bowl.
This is huge.
This is big. The Giants, to me, a lot of turnovers. Coughlin is a strict disciplinarian.
Yep.
He is not gonna let that happen again. The Denver Broncos, though, too much firepower. How do you stop Julius Thomas? How do you stop Demaryius Thomas? How do you stop Decker? I don't think Decker's going to have a second bad game. He will catch some balls this time. Welker. No, Sean Moreno looked pretty good.
Right. We're not.
You cannot stop that. Denver will beat the Giants in New York. It will be a 2-0 start. Giants fans are going to be in the hole 0-2.
Wow, I want to see some Monte ball.
That's going to be.
I don't think we're going to see a lot of Monte ball.
I don't. At least not yet. And I definitely. It's
disappointing.
This is going to be hard for the Giants. I mean, it's possible 0-2, and it's going to be rough. It's going to be rough. You're in that division. That's a tough division.
Don't start David Wilson.
You don't start David Wilson. But
I don't even know if the coach is starting. He might not even be on the plane.
They brought in two running backs today already.
Did they?
They brought in McGahee and Brandon Jacobs.
Shot the front.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, I think McGahee will have the starting job. You might want to pick him up.
I think Wilson's going down.
Yeah, I think Wilson's going. But Coughlin, I guarantee you, 0-2, you will start to hear the fire Coughlin whispers in New York because they love to get rid of this guy every year.
Then they win the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl. That's always good for you guys.
Next one. What do you got?
Pittsburgh, Cincinnati.
Yeah.
You're both 0-1.
Yeah.
You're in Cincinnati. Pittsburgh, once again, I don't think you got it. I don't think Roethlisberger's going to be protected without having Marquise Pouncey.
Okay.
I think Cincinnati will pull this one out pretty easily. I think they'll win by 2 touchdowns at least.
At least 2 touchdowns.
Because I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that Pittsburgh defense all that much.
Is the Bears defense that good from the first week? To stop Andy Dalton, AJ Green. AJ Green went off.
AJ did go off.
So how is
you look at Cincinnati with AJ Green and Dalton going up against Pittsburgh, a team they know.
Yeah.
I still see the same thing. They don't have a defensive back that can stay with AJ Green.
Yeah, he is a speedster. That's true. I do agree with that. All right, real quick, we'll go over fantasy real quick. Obviously, if you had some of these players, and if you don't, please pick them up. Peyton Manning obviously went nuts. I've set records in the fantasy leagues out there, so he'll be a starter for sure. Obviously, you'll be seeing yardage gains from him, touchdowns from him, to whoever. But obviously, Julius Thomas, he hasn't been owned, I don't think, in pretty much any league. I think it was like 0 across the board. So pick him up. He's huge before the cops pick him up. Because that's what we're hearing, at least on our end here in Colorado. Victor Cruz went nuts, obviously, for the G-Men. He's going to need to do that this week going against the Broncos. But 42 points for him, it's huge. The guys that are cold right now, Tom Brady, I really don't know what he's going to do. He could come up big. He could not. They're struggling, though, with the run. And I don't know what he's going to do. He could go nuts, he could not. But I don't know if I would be. If you have a better quarterback, I don't know. Tom Brady might not get you as many points as you'd like.
I have Tom Brady.
And he's on the bench, though. That's what
I have Aaron Rodgers also.
Mike Wallace, obviously, big disappointment, big signing deal over there in the Dolphins. 1 reception, 15 yards. He did complain a little bit. We'll see if he gets more looks, but obviously, I don't know about Ryan Tannehill. I really don't.
Tannehill is not the quarterback.
Mike Wallace has Larry Fitzgerald's problem from last year.
Yeah, absolutely.
It really could be. It really could be.
Yeah.
You're 100% right. And then Greg Jennings going from Green Bay to Minnesota and 3 receptions. I mean, that was it. Obviously, you got Christian Ponder. I don't know what that looks like for Greg the rest of the year. And he could be.
But we know what Christian Ponder looks like. He is an average quarterback in the NFL.
That's what it,
and
with Adrian
Jennings.
With Adrian
Peterson. Like,
how does that play action not work for you?
Because the man can't find an open wide receiver after all 11 people are in the box. He still can't find an open wide receiver.
Everybody's covered.
It's tough. But yeah, Greg Jennings.
Everybody's covered because Adrian Peterson got tackled.
Right, exactly right. Exactly right. So, good luck to you guys on the fantasy football. Thank you guys very much for joining us for Offsides. I'm Mike. This is Rolf, Randy. We're out. We will see you next week to go over highlights of week 2 and week 3.